Hey y'all, it's Katie. Welcome back to From My Vanity. And if you turned into yesterday's video, then you know that today we are going to be getting into my favorites. We already went through all the fails that I tried from this past month, and now we want to get into the good products, the products that really stood out to me as just being so very fantastic, or just a new discovery of mine, or a rediscovery of mine. We're going to get into it. We are going to be doing it in a countdown style, per usual, and we're going to be starting with the least favorite and work our way all the way up to the most favorite. But as always, keep in mind that the ranking style is merely just for fun. I think it's just entertaining to get to see how to rank it, and it is very fun and challenging for me to decide, but it also just gives a little more perspective on the level of favorite from the month. But above all of the ranking, that aside, just keep in mind that I try to give the reviews of each individual product, and that is where I hope you can find the most helpful information. So even though a product is a favorite, is coming in at number 10, doesn't mean it is the worst product. There were just other products that I tried that impressed me a little bit more, and hence it landed at number 10 spot. So with that out of the way, let's just jump right into the very first one, which is number 10, and it is the Dermalogica Sheer Tint SPF in the shade Medium. I got sent this from Dermalogica to try out, and I was super excited because I was very curious to see if it could be. I'm on that quest. I am on a determined quest to find a tint that does not give me much coverage, looks amazing all day, and feels like I'm not wearing foundation. That's what I'm looking for. And this, I feel like this is very much like my Coola. Now, I've already done a blog post where I kind of talk about this and give my review, so I will have that link down in my description box if you want to check it out. It's on my blog, From My Vanity, and I go into kind of the pros and cons when it comes to this, and my overall thoughts and feelings when it comes to this product. But for here and right now, I feel like these are very similar. This gives, I feel like, more coverage than the Coola one, I will say that. But honestly, when it comes down to it, not that much. It's just, yeah, I wouldn't really go to this at all for coverage. So in the aspect, in the realm of looking for a tinted foundation or a very lightweight, just a little bit of coverage foundation, I really wouldn't go to this. This is something that I would go to after I put on like my skincare, and before I'm going to go and put on my foundation, I want to have a little extra SPF. This is something that I could get because it also just does a little bit of tonal correcting and whatnot, but I would use this more so as an SPF with just a little bit of tint. Or on the days when I'm not going to wear any makeup, but I have to go outside and I want to have something, this would be a nice option. So that's kind of how I see it. But since I see it basically in the way I described it as the same as the Coola, I would just go with the Coola because it is more inexpensive, and I want to say when I compare the ingredients, I prefer this stuff in here. So I think it just comes down to personal preference, but if you have this and you were curious what this was like, it's basically kind of the same concept, with this just tinting it a little bit more. And also this, I feel like, doesn't have the same silkiness as the Coola one. When you put the Coola one on, it almost feels like a pore filling primer. It has that feeling to it, but yeah, it's very like silky smooth. It makes your face feel so smooth. This does not. It kind of dries down and sets itself, which is nice if I want to wear this on the days when I'm not wearing any makeup or whatever. So it is nice. It is fantastic. It's just fairly pricey in my book. So would I envision myself repurchasing this afterwards? Probably not, because I'm not that type of person to not wear makeup often, so it just wouldn't be worth the money, and this does what this does for me. You guys know what I mean, and I would just repurchase this. But just talking about the product alone, it is really nice. Next up for number 9, this is the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil. This is, I mean, it's a fantastic product. I really had no trouble with this at all. It's the type of tip that I prefer. It's a triangular tip, which I prefer because I have very big brows. I don't like the really tiny, like, micro pencils. I don't really need to draw hair, I just need to fill it in. So this does the job of filling in very nicely. But the reason I decided to put it at number 10 is because it's expensive, and I feel like there's so many brow products at the drugstore that while I will enjoy this, I will use it because it is a great product. But for me personally, can I envision myself repurchasing it? No, because I'd rather just go grab something from the drugstore, because I feel like there's a lot of really great drugstores if you have brows like me that you don't need to spend the money. I say it all the time, I have very big bushy brows. I don't do much with them. I'm not very talented when it comes to doing my brows. So for me and my preferences, I just don't need to spend that much money on a brow product. But with that aside, like I said, I think it is very nice. It does stay on the skin really nicely. It has a little bit of wear down by the end of the night, but not that bad. It's hard for me to notice, at least through my brows. So overall, really nice, and I really do like the spoolie on the other side. It's a very nice spoolie. Kind of random, but I really do like it. It lays my hairs down and it kind of brushes out any harsh lines that I inevitably get. Next up for number 8 is the Butter London Glazin' Lip Glaze. This is in the shade Rose Dust, and I do have it on my lips. I have this Mellow Cosmetics Posh lipstick, or Lipstick in Posh. It is a matte liquid lipstick though, so I wanted to choose a matte, and then I topped it, and I dropped the cover. I topped it with this, so you guys can really see the shine, and I was surprised how much I enjoyed this. This has a good bit of sparkle to it, but it's just so finely milled you really don't notice it, and the reason it kind of stands out to me as me wanting to note that is because, like, I'm not super knowledgeable when it comes to glosses just because I don't prefer glosses, but I did try Samantha March and Ofra's Millie gloss, and I thought that was a very smooth type of gloss, but it does have a little bit of grit, but I just thought it was relatively smooth for having so much glitter. This, however, I feel like has a good amount of glitter. I don't know if you'd be able to see. It has just a tiny bit of tint to the color, but it has some glitter to it, but it is so finely milled, I don't feel it on my lips at all, but it gives a beautiful shine. It just gives some life to the lips. I can wear this without any lip product underneath because it does give a little bit of tint. I still prefer my lip oil because I feel like the oil is doing something nourishing to my lips, like Butter London's Sheer Wisdom Lip Oil. But with that aside, I feel like this is a really nice everyday type of gloss you can throw on, and it stays relatively well. So I was very surprised at how much I enjoyed using this past month. It was very much like my everyday kind of lip color I could just grab and throw on. Also too, I think Butter London is genius when it comes to this packaging because this tip is a hard plastic tip. So if you're someone who prefers to top your lipsticks with a lip gloss, but you hate how it like gets the gloss, the dough foot of the gloss messy, this you don't have to worry about it because it is a hard tip. I wipe it off after I use it on top of another lipstick, and that lipstick that it transferred onto the tip is totally gone. It's nice, hard, and you can decide how much you want to turn up, so you never have to worry about, you know, turning up too much. Genius packaging. I really like it. But yeah, really enjoyed this. I had to give a little shout out because I was impressed how much I liked a lip gloss. Okay, so for number 8, you guys are going to be floored and so shocked, but I gotta be honest, it is the Butter London Plush Rush Blush. Yeah, a cream blush is in my favorites video. Who am I? I was so shocked. The first time I used this, they sent it to me as PR and I was like, oh, okay, like, I'll try it. I like to give things a fair shot. I'll try it, Katie. You know, stop complaining. Just try the blush. You'll live. So I tried it, and the first time I used it, I was like, oh. And then the next time I used it, I was like, wow, like, this actually looks really nice, Katie. It's been a journey, but it was a rather difficult journey because I kept wanting it to go like, I don't like cream blush. I don't like cream blush, but I have to admit I like this cream blush, and it is effortless. And I think the aspect I like most about it is because I can put it on and I apply it right after I do my foundation before I do my under eyes and like set everything. So I apply it and it definitely looks bright. Like, this color is very bright. It shows up really nicely. Like, it's a beautiful color. And when I apply it and blend it in, it definitely looks very pink on my skin. But then I kind of set it all with setting powder. I go on with my bronzer and my highlighter, and I actually feel like I don't need any powder blush on top because this gives the most natural flush, the most natural type of blush to my cheeks. And I just think it looks beautiful, and I love that I don't have to go on top with another blush to kind of set it all in or just to make it show up. It definitely can show up and, you know, stand against all the other products that I put on top of it. Today, that is all I put for blush on my face. I feel like you can still see a very light blush to my face. Now, let me phrase that with saying I like very little blush. I tend to just skip blush altogether when I do my makeup. So for me, this is a nice blushy look and I really like it. So yeah, I definitely had to mention this. I could not believe how much I enjoyed it, so I had to put it in here, and it ranked relatively high up, I feel like, for a cream blush. I think this is the one and only cream blush that I have in my collection, but I am set on keeping it because I like it. I think I want to go on a cream journey right now, and I have a highlighter from Hourglass that I got on my last BoxyCharm. I have this blush, so I'm kind of thinking about buying a bronzer and then trying out all 3 of them together on my face for a little while and seeing if I like it. Because anytime I try to use the cream highlighter and the cream blush and didn't like put any powder on top, I miss my bronzers. So I might be buying a cream bronzer. Who am I? Okay, for number 6 spot, this is a little duo that you can buy from Butter London once again. This is the Power Up Mascara and Liner. Now, I didn't use the liner today. I'm going to talk about that liner in a minute, but I have used it a ton in the past, and then I did use the mascara today, and they are a great duo, especially for the price and for it being a high-end product. I really like that the liquid liner is a Shake It Up pen. It is a brush tip, and while it isn't like, I wouldn't call it super duper matte, it also isn't crazy shiny. I don't like the shiny look. I think it's just, I want it matte. Don't ask me why. That's just my preference. So I always kind of prefer and look for liquid liners that are matte. Anyway, this one, like I said, it's just a teensy bit shiny, but it's more, I would call it like a demi-matte. Or like, is it semi-matte? Demi-matte. Semi. I think it's semi. whatever. It's not shiny, but it's not completely matte. So it's right there in the middle. That's what I would call it. And it goes on very easily, stays all day. And then talking about the mascara, I really like it. I feel like it's one of those mascaras that I can do a one and done. I don't have to top it with another type of mascara, but it definitely takes a little time. I think the biggest con for me is that the wand is so chunky. I don't like using on my lower lashes. I just tend to kind of like hit myself. It's the type of wand like the Benefit Roller Lash, except it's a lot chunkier. So it's almost like the, if you wanted a dupe for it, let me just grab it real quick. Yeah, it really does remind me of the Flower Beauty Lash Warrior mascara. So if you like the Flower Beauty Lash Warrior, I think, yeah, they're almost the same. The Butter London is just a tad clunkier. So I really do like this type of mascara. I love that it can really separate and define it. And then if you kind of turn it on its side, you can really build it up. And it's one of those few, there's very few mascaras that I can use just that mascara. And I like the finished looks. I'm usually grabbing for 2 mascaras to finish it off, give me length and give me bulk. But not that one, the Flower Beauty as well, but this one is definitely one that can do that for me. But like I just said, there's a cheaper one out there, so something to consider. But if you're wanting to try Butter London, or if you're looking at this, set, or if this set is on sale because you get both of these with it, I think it's a great value. I think they're both great products. We'll definitely use them up, and I wouldn't mind repurchasing them in the future. Okay, for number 5, I have the JD Glow Cosmetics Liquid Glitter Tubes. I have Unicorn Snot and Mermaid Tails. I have Mermaid Tails right now on my eyes and my cut crease, and these are so beautiful. If you like the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Liners, you're going to like these. I feel like this, you definitely have to make sure you shake it up just to kind of disperse the glitter, but you do that with the Urban Decay anyway. I feel like the glitter in here is a little bit bigger than the Urban Decay ones, just a teensy bit, not too much, but because it is a little bit bigger, I feel like the shine is a little more intense, and I don't have to layer it so much to get the intensity that I want when it comes to that shine and that reflectiveness. I typically do 2 layers of this, whereas the Urban Decay, I can do 2 or 3 or 4, depending on the color, to really get the sparkle to show through. I really haven't ever noticed these falling off onto my face throughout the day that I've been trying them. If I just want to amp up a look, if I'm going very neutral, I'm just like, I want something with this look, something to kind of make it pop. These are it. I have so many heavy metal liners from Urban Decay and NYX Glitter Gold liquid liners. These are definitely right there, and I feel like they're very unique to my collection, so I like that I got these 2 colors because I feel like I don't have them in my collection, and I'm definitely eyeing the other ones that they have. But yeah, these are just solid products. I was surprised at how much I like these after the stress and the struggle with their neon liquid liners, which if you watch my fails, you'll have heard all about that. But yeah, something to note is that I don't know why they didn't use this brush liner in the neon ones, because it's a lot more flexible and it's a lot softer. I don't know, I got on a lot better with the pens or the brush tips in these liquid liners than in the neon ones. So if you heard my review on the neon liners and you're like, oh, I'm not trying any of their liners, I really do think the JD Glow Liquid Glitter Tubes, they are worth the money. I think they're worth buying. Next up, for number 4, is the liquid liner that I did use today. It is the Butter London Brilliant Black. That doesn't, oh no, wait. Iconoclast Infinite Lacquer in Brilliant Black. Sorry, I read that wrong. But yeah, this little guy here, it is quite the chunk, and I was a little skeptical because when I saw it, I was like, oh, that just looks like all packaging. Is the product inside actually going to be good? I shouldn't be surprised. It's Butter London. They put a lot of care into, I feel like, the quality of their products, so it is a great product. And if you maybe like more of a very, very matte look, it's very liquidy, very black. I find that it goes on very easy. Very easy to get a line that is very opaque. It's very easy to use, and once it dries, it really doesn't budge. I never have to worry about it budging. You do have to be a little careful because, like I said, it's very liquidy. It is one of those kind of like, dip it in. So if you bring it out, there's just a lot of product on it. I mean, not a ton, not more than average, but I just make sure I wipe it off. It has a very short little brush, so if you like shorter brushes, you'll like this. I tend to like longer brushes, I feel like, but I actually didn't mind it or notice this. It is a brush tip, which I prefer over felt tips. Thinking about these 2, because these were the 2 liners, both from Butter London, that I was trying, I tended to prefer this just because I felt like it was a little more inkier, a little more blacker, a little more matter, and that is my preference. And it's just so easy to get a really smooth line and a really pigmented line. Still a little shiny, still a little wet, still drying down, but I think you can see that it's just a touch darker, a touch more inky black than the other one. Okay, for number 3, it is the base that I'm wearing today. It's the CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream for oily skin. I have, like I said, I've been on the hunt for a very lightweight type of base that I can use on the days when I really don't want to wear foundation, and I don't want it to feel like I have much on my face. I want my face to feel almost that no makeup feel. And this totally hits the nail on the head, except it does a little bit more because I feel like it gives more coverage than I typically get when it comes to very tinted moisturizers, very lightweight very BB cream-esque products. Even my ColourPop tinted moisturizer, I feel like it didn't give me as much coverage as this does. Like I said, I have it on my face today and it just goes on beautifully, and it is one of those products that it gives me enough coverage to make my face match my neck and the rest of my body, but it doesn't give a ton of coverage to make me feel cakey. I don't feel like I have a ton of foundation on. It sets really nicely, it looks really nice, and at the end of the day, there's very, very minimal wear because it is so lightweight. You really don't notice it. You know, of course, does a little bit around my face, but I can only really tell because I get very up close in the mirror to see it. From far away, my face looks the same at the end of the night, and I really do like that. Now, I haven't put it up against like Florida summer heat yet because it's just starting to get warm here, but so far around the house this past month, I have loved this, and I really don't want to put it back into my collection because I just want to keep using it. It's great for those very lightweight days. I don't want heavy, crazy coverage. I don't mind some breakouts and whatnot poking through. I just want my face to match my neck. This gives it to me. There's so many misses when it comes to tinted moisturizers and BB creams and CC creams and just tinted light coverage foundations. I feel like they just, where'd they go? But this actually is there. You can tell, but it doesn't feel like it's there. Perfection. Okay, so I forget which video it was that I mentioned finding the best pore filling primer out there, and I had so many comments of you guys saying like, oh wait Katie, like what primer is this? Do tell us. You can't just drop that and just walk off without naming the product. And I'm so sorry, I just like said it in passing and didn't really think about it, and I knew I was going to mention it in the monthly favorites video, so I was just going to mention it there, but I am so sorry. Anyway, I responded to all those comments and made sure I let you guys know, but if you didn't know or you were curious but didn't leave a comment asking, it is the Dermalogica Hydra Blur Primer. Wow. Now, I did record a little clip today showing you guys how this goes on, but like seriously, I don't know if you'll be able to see because this is a pore filling primer. It looks like nothing, and you can only see, like, I feel like in person because like the pores you're filling, it's just hard to come across on camera. I tried to put my lighting down as much as I can to be able to give you guys the best opportunity of seeing it. I have probably like 5 or more pore filling primers in my collection that I feel like either do just a little bit, like maybe they filled them in, or do nothing at all. This, I pulled out very skeptical because I was expecting it to do just that, just kind of be like, okay, maybe it did something. No, this, the moment you swipe it on your face and you're like kind of blending it in, you just see it filling those pores. And I was just like, oh, wow, okay. And then when I put on my foundation on top, I was like, wow, my pores really do look smoothed out. I don't even know if it's something you can really tell on camera, like I said, even, you know, from video to video, if you can really see it on camera because I'm so far away, but it's something in my mirror, not up close, but like in my mirror, just looking at myself from a normal distance, I can see a difference. I can see that my pores are blurred, and I am amazed. And while I'm saying that, I know how expensive this is, but seriously, if you're someone who have spent maybe $100 trying 10 different types of pore filling primers from the drugstore or high-end, I feel like this might be it. I don't like to come across as, hey, you need to buy this product right now, because I hate to do that because we all have very different type of skin tones, skin texture, skin needs, skin everything. We're different people. So I hate to ever kind of come across as saying this is going to, everyone's going to love this. If you ever get the opportunity to feel this, I would say feel it, or maybe buy it from a place that has a good return policy, because I feel like this is one of those very rare gems in the makeup industry that I feel like it literally does something. I really have zero cons when it comes to this product besides the price. It fills them in. It lasts nicely all day. I feel like it just sits underneath it. It doesn't get funky and weird with the foundation I put on, like having to tap foundation over. It doesn't move and disappear. I'm just floored. I've been raving about this for too long. Let's move on to the #1 spot. And the #1 spot is an oldie but a goodie. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup. I almost didn't want to mention this because this is such an old one, and I feel like I've mentioned it in previous favorites many times. But I pulled this back in and I was kind of scared / skeptical because I've been on a very much more of a lightweight, no foundation kind of makeup kick. Like I've been wanting to just go lighter. I don't like the full coverage cakey look anymore. It's just too high maintenance for me with 3 kids and running around all day. So when I pulled this back in, I was really curious if I would actually still like it. Now the way I used it this entire past month is I always used it with a damp sponge. So keep that in mind. I never use this with a brush, but this is beautiful. When I use it with a sponge, I always use a very little bit and just very lightly, you know, kind of diffuse it out. I don't try to go on with too much product at once. When I use it with a sponge, my makeup just looks so beautiful after I'm done. It's stunning, gorgeous. I love everything about it. But the kicker for me, and the reason it just flew to the top and I had to put it at the #1 spot for this month, is that when I go in the mirror at the end of the night and look at my foundation to see how it's worn off, it is one of the very few foundations that don't crease in my nose. The area, like the crease in my nose, had absolutely zero cakiness. Like no wearing down, no kind of bunching up and building up. You know how that can get, just by the end of the day and just moving your nose and whatnot. It always builds and bunches and just looks terrible in the nose crease. It looked perfect. And I was just like, whoa, wait a minute. And after that, I was like using it every day because I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing, because you can get such great coverage. It feels very lightweight. You still have that foundation feel because it is more of a full coverage, but it's very lightweight. Now, I did notice that depending on the primer that I put underneath, it would change if it like gathered and just bunched and wore away in my crease. So if I stuck to just a very simple, I tended to use this priming moisturizer from Good Molecules. Whenever I use that paired with this, match made in heaven, those two right there. If I needed to look like my makeup to look great all day, I would put those two together, and I knew my base makeup was not going anywhere. I still love this, and I'm just so impressed at how well it holds up and how good it looks at the end of the night. Amazing. Alright, so there you have it. Those are all my favorites from this past month. So many good products, and it was very hard to rank them. I feel like I say that every single time I do a video like this where I have favorites. It's just so hard to rank them and pick which place to put them in, because they all just kind of blew me away in different ways, in different aspects, and I was so excited to be able to share them with you today. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it informative, or whatever the case may be, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up on your way out, as it helps me in the whole YouTube algorithm. If you have not entered my giveaways, I have two giveaway prizes on my YouTube channel. I'll have that linked up here if you want to enter, and then I have a box of makeup I'm giving away on my Instagram. I'll have the links for all of them and down below in the comments, because it is about to be over. Please do keep in mind that I wait about a week before announcing the giveaway winner, because I need time to go through all the entries, because there's a lot of them, and I just need time. I'm a busy mom, still trying to upload and all that, so I gotta fit in where I can, kind of verifying the entries and then reaching out and giving the winner that I've reached out to time to respond back to me. So do keep in mind, give me about a week or two before expecting to see the winner announced, and I'll announce it here in my community tab on YouTube as well as on Instagram stories. So yeah, with all that said, thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.